Understanding how plants communicate could change the future of agriculture and climate science. Imagine crops that can warn each other about pests without pesticides, or forests that can signal drought stress before it's visible to the human eye. Scientists are now experimenting with decoding plant languages using advanced sensors and AI they've started to map the chemical vocabulary, the thousands of distinct molecules that plants use to send messages. Each scent, each signal, tells a story. Danger, growth, reproduction, cooperation. This knowledge could help us design more sustainable farms, protect endangered ecosystems, and even develop new medicines inspired by plant defenses. A philosophical question, but beyond science lies something deeper, a question about consciousness itself. If plants can sense, respond, remember, and communicate, where do we draw the line between life and awareness? Maybe communication doesn't always need words. Maybe intelligence exists in many forms, some that whisper in the wind, some that hum through roots, and some that bloom quietly beneath the morning sun. The language of life. The next time you walk through a forest or garden, pause for a moment. Feel the air, smell the leaves, listen to the silence. Because in that silence, there's a symphony, 1,000 signals moving unseen. Plants are not silent. They're storytellers. Their language is older than ours, spoken in chemistry, vibration, and light. And as we learn to listen, we begin to realize that communication is not just a human trait, it is the language of life itself. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, and share. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel today. Our topic is the myth of silence. For most of human history, we thought plants were incapable of any kind of communication. They don't move, they don't have brains, they don't have nerves or mouths. So how could they possibly talk? Yet as science advanced, we began to uncover tiny clues that changed everything. Biologists noticed that when certain trees were attacked by insects, nearby trees seemed to respond even before the insects reached them. The leaves of the untouched trees began to produce bitter chemicals, making themselves less tasty to pests. Something, somehow, was warning them. Chemical conversations. Plants don't use words, they use chemistry. When a plant is under attack, it releases volatile organic compounds, or VOCs. These are airborne chemicals that travel through the air and can be detected by neighboring plants. Imagine a wild tobacco plant being chewed by a caterpillar. Within minutes, it releases a cocktail of airborne molecules, messages floating invisibly in the breeze. Nearby plants smell those chemicals and immediately activate their own defense systems, producing toxins or strengthening their leaves. Some plants even call for help. When attacked, corn plants release a scent that attracts parasitic wasps, insects that lay eggs inside the caterpillars eating the corn. The wasps get a meal, and the plant gets protection. It's not random. It's strategy. It's communication. It's the underground network. The wood wide web. If the air is one channel, the soil is another. Beneath the forest floor lies one of nature's most extraordinary communication systems. A vast network of fungal threads connecting roots from tree to tree, a living internet known as the mycorrhizal network, or the wood wide web. Through these fungal highways, trees can share nutrients, send warnings, and even recognize family members. Mother trees, the oldest and largest, send carbon and nutrients to their seedlings through the network, keeping them alive in the shade. When one tree is dying, it can transfer its stored carbon to its neighbors, almost as a final act of generosity. Researchers like Dr. Suzanne Simard have spent decades studying these underground exchanges. Her work shows that forests behave less like collections of individual trees and more like cooperative societies, communities, built on constant communication and support, electrical signals and plant senses. But the mystery goes even deeper. Recent research reveals that plants also use electrical signals, similar to nerve impulses in animals. When a leaf is damaged, an electrical wave travels through the plant's tissues, triggering defensive